Hello, and welcome to this special edition podcast on Social Mobility Day. I am Jo, founder of Red Lotus Consultancy.
And I'm Tony. I'm the founder of the Common Good Network.
Fab, and we have come together today to talk about our social mobility journeys and our shifting of our own mindsets into founding our own companies, the Red Lotus Consultancy and the Common Good Network.
Yeah.
So, um, we're building something special, something a little bit different, a system that works for people like us. So why don't we start by sharing your story, Tony?
Yeah. Okay. So I was born and brought up on a council estate in Basingstoke, very kind of traditional working class background. And what's interesting actually when you think about social mobility is that, like investments, it can go down as well as up.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a lot of emphasis. So I ultimately have I guess, a good news story where I kind of went way beyond what was predicted for someone of my background. But actually, prior to that, my family experienced downward social mobility. So, we had that classic two parents doing manual or part time work. And then when my dad died when I was a teenager, we became reliant on the benefit system. And so I've got sort of, acute experience of what it feels like to fall backwards when you have nothing to fall back on. And then through some stuff I'm sure that we'll get into, I was able to forge a corporate career and worked at Microsoft for 10 years. And then I left to set up on my own. So today, I've spent like 7 years as a keynote speaker on social mobility.
Wow.
And most recently, I founded the Common Good Network. So,
Excellent.
how
Thank
about
you.
you?
So my journey so much resonates there with my own journey. So I grew up on a really rough council estate. My dad left when I was 3. My mum had a horrendously traumatic childhood.
Mm,
She was in the care system. She was abused by people that were there to look after her, and she repeated that pattern of abuse into her adult life. And
mm,
so my dad wasn't around. She had significant mental health issues, in and out of abusive relationships with men, and lived on benefits as well. She wasn't well enough to work.
mm,
And sadly, from about the age of 8, we became her carer. She was in and out of hospital. We were in and out of the care system. And she had this repeated pattern of trying to end her own life.
mm,
And so from the age of 8, we were constantly, looking out for when would be the next time that she would try to end her own life. And sadly, when I was 18, she was successful, and she committed suicide.
mm,
And that meant overnight we became financially independent. We became homeless. The council kicked us out of our council estate. And so, I had to really fend for myself from the age of 18. And that meant sofa surfing for a few years. It meant
mm,
working in a casino at nights to get myself through college. And luckily, I secured a role at Nationwide at the age of 20. And that was a very pivotal point in my life in which, it fundamentally gave me access to opportunities that most people like me don't get access to. And I had fantastic opportunities to grow my career, to develop myself, to go on leadership development programs, and to share my story. And it has been amazing, and it has changed my life. But I am really keen now that I use Red Lotus Consultancy to give back, and to help other people go on that ladder, and lift them up as they grow.
mm.